it's Friday again, and I'm back with another seashell project because I've just got so many seashells that came in. I make one project and I'm just about done with that, and I see something else I can do and something else I can do. I'm just having a ball. And the thing about seashells that I like so much is they're, of course, organic, natural product of the earth, and they're not expensive because, truthfully, a lot of jewelry making supplies these days are. Some of mine are a little bit more expensive, but seashells aren't. And if you happen to live by a beach where you can get the right kind of seashells, hey, baby, you're in business. I wish I was you. I'm jealous. But if not, I have a good source of supply of all kinds of things, and we still have some interesting things coming up. But this week, we're going to do the statement necklace on the clam type shell. This has a specific name, and I can't remember it right now. Same if O'Neill, it went over my head. I forgot it, went flying. But I'll look it up and I'll put it in the comments. How's that? So I'm going to get started now. And one more thing before I do. Thank you for your comments lately. They're great. Make my heart sing, make my heart go pitty-pat. It's just great. Giving me hope. I'm trying to give you guys hope and joy and say, come on guys, let's get in there and keep going. And then you give me this back. And it's like the greatest gift. So thank you. Keep doing it, okay? If you do it enough, we might get somewhere. All right? All of us. Stay busy. All right, come on over here. I'm going to show you how to make this necklace. So you guys don't have to wait. I'm your pal. I went back and I looked at my stuff. And this is called an Irish flat pecten shell. Why, I don't know. I'm just learning about seashells. I don't know what a pecten shell is, but I'm going to find out. I'm learning more every day. But all I can tell you is I remember years and years ago, I used to buy vintage jewelry from a lady over in Columbiana, Ohio, not too far from here. And she had quite a collection, and once in a while she'd call me. She said, I'm going to let some of this go, come over and have a look. So I go over. But she loved to make necklaces with these Irish pecten shells. I don't know where she got them, so many of them. I don't know, maybe she bought them at a craft store or something. But anyway, I don't have to worry about that. But I was always very intrigued with what she made from them. I always thought they were really, really pretty. She was very proud of them too, as she should have been. But what I like about them the most is they're flat, easy to work with. So what am I going to use for a bell? You might be thinking, what do I do? How did you get it to hang? Well, you can't drill these. I don't know, maybe you could, but I don't think so, because you can cut it so easily with your cutters. It's almost like it turns to sand as soon as you touch it. So I don't see where you're going to have much success in drilling it unless maybe you were to drill it here in the middle. But you need these two little lips to come out for the side, I think. But anyway, so this is when you have to have something you can glue on to make it hang. So, very simple. Let me show you what I did. Now, normally I would go and make some kind of a bail or figure it out or whatever, but I had gotten a new shipment of some raw brass stampings, things that I thought I would use in my next class, which is coming right up starting August 8th. And these were in there, and I got to think, hey, now, I've shown things like this before, how you could use different stampings and put them on the back of something else that needed a bail and make one and have it be decorative. And I thought, well, how appropriate to put a shell on the back of a shell. So it was real simple. All I did was E6000 it on. And the only thing you have to be careful of is that you keep it centered and it doesn't shift. That's not hard to do, especially if you put it on something and set it aside, it will stay there. But the first thing you got to do is get it even, okay? So I'll show you on my finished one See how nice and straight that is? There. That's because I trimmed it. You can trim all kinds of minor imperfections and blemishes away. But sometimes think first before you do it. Do I really need to do this? Can I incorporate that into the design? Will it be more unusual if I do that? In this case, I didn't think so, so I trimmed it. So I trimmed it nice and neat. I'm going to show you how I did it. Let's get one. This one's not too far off. So here's my little, these are Rhinestone nippers. We used to have a Xuron cutter on the site, but it's been out of stock at the supplier for some time. I don't know. I'm funny about nippers or flush cutters. I don't care who made them. They have life. You're not going to have them forever. Unless you're very clever and know how to sharpen them just the right way. I'm not. I don't know. So I just kind of feel like I do like these. But I'd be just as happy with a pair I paid $10 for. So long as it worked and it didn't ding up fast. But these are Rhinestones. I don't even know if I can get these anymore, but I just got them for me. They're signed someplace. Oh, right in here. Rhinestone is a very good name in tools. Anyway, so I'm going to just trim this up. So what I do is I turn it to the back because it's just easier. It's kind of bumped up in the back. And I just get in there and I just take a little bit off. See how it just comes off like butter. That's not bad right there. Let's look at the other side. Well, it could be a little bit more even. You guys are going to be glad you know this trick. If you didn't know it already. And then there's a bigger piece here I got to take off. So I'm going to go straight. I want to keep it all even. If I can. A little bit off is not a big deal. Because after all, these are organic. And I feel you are to expect some imperfections in them. Now this is more slanted than this one, so I think I'm going to make this slant a little bit more. Just to kind of match it up. See, I take it and I just give it a bite and then I wiggle it. Not too bad. Just like that. Do you see how it comes off there? It looks like sand. So that's not too bad. I think I'll take a little bit more off of this here, right? It takes minutes. Oop. See, now that's an example of what happens if you go too hard on it. I got another little flaw I've got to nip out now because I was not careful. See that? Be real careful nipping it. That's okay because I'm going to file it. And I am going to file this. I would not want to use a jewelry file. It's too, I think, let me pull this back and get rid of the sand. I think it's too harsh. You know, those are made for like metal and stuff. And this is very, very delicate. Javi's going to place it back where it's a good place. Thank you, Javi. Yeah. So you need to use something that's not going to be harsh. Well, when you file your nails, you have something that will do the job to file your nails. Some people have really thick nails, some people don't, but sometimes I think, sometimes when I'm doing my nails, they kind of have the consistency of something like this. So I'll just use my nail file. How about that? This one's all beat up, but it works. And what I do is I try to go from the back, and I just try to go all one way. I'm kind of hitting something, so that's hard. You always want to file one way. Seesawing back and forth doesn't work, and I have a tendency to do that too. Just always file one way, not fill over that. It's still rough. It might be that you're going to have to take something and put over that, like I don't know about using steel wool on it either. I just don't know. It's just so fragile. You could take some clear nail polish and just go at the edge so people won't see it too much, and that'll cover it up. I didn't have to on the other one. It came nice and smooth for me, but this didn't. Maybe some people will use a piece of denim to rub over something and soften it. That's much better, let me tell you. I might get by just by doing that. But I have to realize this is very fragile, so I think it's okay. That's good enough, okay? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I put the back on. I use E6000 glue, and just in your honor, I have a brand new tube today. All right, and that's ready to rock. So what I do is, because this is a hollow stamping, and you have to use more glue when you have a hollow stamping. Of course, I could kitch it around here too pretty good, but I just think I need some really good chunk of glue here in the middle. So that's where I'm going to start putting glue. And you are going to use a bit of glue. You don't want to get too much so that it glorps out on the sides, and then you got cleanup. Nobody likes that. You know how I always say about assemblage and stuff. Try to do it in a way that requires as little cleanup as possible. My goal is always to flip a piece over when I'm done, and there's nothing to clean up. That's happened. Not all the time, though. And that's okay. Okay, I think I've got enough there for now. If not, and it wants to lift up later, I can just reapply it. But I'd want to be sure that I didn't have to do that this is all set up before I started making the design on the other side. You should do this ahead of time. Like, if you're going to do some assemblage on the shell like I showed you, maybe do it in the morning. Do it early in the day. See, I don't think I have quite enough. I'll look and see. Yeah, I don't have quite enough. This does take a good bit. And it's messy. Life is messy. All right, this should do it. Right in the middle. Then I'll spread out. If I got some cleanup afterwards, well, I got some cleanup. I don't think I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna be really good. So what I want to do is be sure that this hanging hole is popping right up there. And it's not, because it just twisted. See, at this point, it will want to maybe sometimes rock on you. So you have to be careful. But I do think that is right. I'm gonna lift it up and look.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. There's a little dent in them, right about here. I notice it's on every shell. So look for that dent and then face your hanging hole or whatever to be right there, because that's the center of the piece. That is the natural center of the piece. Isn't that amazing? So now this is on. Make sure it's not crookedy. And there you go. Now you just have to let it sit. Usually minimum 12 hours, since it's a piece, it's a skeletal piece. It's not like a little piece you're gluing on. That won't take you so long, doesn't have to sit forever. But this is like probably the most essential piece on the whole thing. And it's hollow too, so you've got to get enough on there to make it work for you, and that'll do it. So we'll just take that off. Okay, so I taught you a little bit about how I thought my design process for putting this together. Now this is assemblage, just like all my other assemblage videos. There's nothing strange or new about it, but you do have some design because of the ridges in the shell. It is not a problem. It's not a problem. It presents design possibilities. So what I do, I took some of our pearl chain, has got some glue on it that's dry. I took some of our pearl chain and I put it in a ridge here. This is the central one. I wanted the center of this is off to this side. It's very easy to see where it needs to go too, because these are nice and evenly spaced. Isn't that something? Okay, so I put the pearl cup chain here, and this is crystal AB 2mm. We have lots of it. You can even buy it by the full spool if you like the crystal AB chain. We have a lot of it. So I put those down first because that kind of gave me a sense of where I was at in the design. But you could do it last too. I just did it first. And then I started with my bigger piece. I put this guy down, this trocus shell. I put it down. And then I put some pearl cabs here. You can't really see them. They're mostly for lift.
You can do it!
Other things. And then I just had, this is an acrylic piece. This is an acrylic piece that I had in my stash. We have these little pearl daisies. We have these white flowers with the chaton inside, both in our Etsy and in our website. We have pink ones too, if you like that. These, see if I can show you what this really is. You might find that curious. This is how I used it. This is that. Is it all showing up? These are vintage made in Japan MOD Cultura pearls that dangle. When you find stuff like this reasonable, grab it. Because it is not so easy to find. I remember a time when it was not so hard to find and it was not so expensive, but it's gotten nuts. Now, here's the thing. You could do it yourself. You could sit in front of TV watching a good movie, just sit there and loop them all, and that would be fine. You're really not wasting time. You're getting your relaxation in. But it's nice if you can get this. They just have a luster all their own. They're really nicely made. So instead of making them hang, which I had contemplated, I haven't done this in a long time, but sometimes I will take something like this and I'll hang one every so often just to come off of it. Not sure I want to do that because I'm trying to simplify a little bit. Now, this is a busy statement piece, but I'm not quite sure that I want to make a lot going on in the necklace. Not quite sure. Those are things you have to decide. The necklace itself is little hearts that are all connected, and we have it at the site. It's CHN 02057. We do have a good little bit of it. Not tons, but you know, we could get you some if you wanted it. But that's what I use, and I haven't used it before, but I like it. Anyways, and these are some Swarovski rondelles that I had from a long, long time ago. It's not something I have or can get. But you can see, I just took things. Always, when you do an assemblage, you lay your bigger things down first. Or your pieces that form the shape of the assemblage. Like, for example, I put these down because they are part of the shape of the assemblage. I put this down because it's a focal. It's kind of a subfocal because we have other big things in here too, but it's got dimension. And I just thought for this shell, I wanted the focal to be high instead of in the middle of the piece. But you do what you want. Whatever works for you, that's the main thing. And, you know, try to get balance. For example, I used these a good bit. See if I have one loose here. Yeah. Doesn't have to move. Here's one. I found a whole bag of these on the back shelf in a warehouse, and I don't think they're on the website, but you can look in the pearl section. They'll be there. If they're not, I'll have Diane put them on tomorrow. But anyway, so I love this little element. And I was putting it all over, but I did. But then I looked at it and I was like, geez, Brenda, you don't want to put that much of it on there. So I made it flow. There's one here. There's one here. There's one here. There's one here. I could get by with putting one here too and make it even, but I don't think I need to. And then I'll show you some cool thing that you can do with these. Now we have this kind too, and those are good spacers, you know, that go, well, see, I use it on these. These were spacers. So it's kind of the same thing, but not exactly. And I take my little Lindstrom pliers, and you can cut these pretty easy. So I'll just cut them in the middle. That's it. The concussion of it broke the other side. I didn't even have to do it. So I got that. So now I have a little arc, and I put one right in here rather than putting the whole thing in. I didn't quite have enough room. I made an arc and stuck it in there, you know. And then I put some mini trochus that are dyed, these little rose-colored ones. I have a bunch of them. I have some that are vintage and I have some that are new. But I don't know if you remember back in the 60s and early 70s, and they made a lot of jewelry out of those, especially what they call love beads, hippie beads. And I used to scoff around and look at all the flea markets and buy as much of those as I could because I used them in assemblage. I didn't have a problem with breaking them up. I didn't personally. That was a decision I made. But I don't have to anymore because I can buy them. So that makes it nice. And I used a little bit more of our white flowers and some of those pearl montees. Pearl montees make a good set stone. You can use them that way too. You don't have to use them on wire. You can use them as a setting with a stone in it. There's a little starfish. We have those too. Pretty much that's it. This one took me some time to make because I knew I was going to show you and I wanted it to be as perfect as I could get it. That way you could learn better. I only made one so far. I have a bunch of others prepped. I have the shells prepped, the shells prepped. So I can, this one over here that we did together, that's basically prepped. We could do that. Oh, this little starfish too. I think we have him on the side. He's in some of the mermaid sand too. Anyways, that's basically how I made it. E6000 and some cute little bibs and bobs, which if you don't have enough to make a good balanced assemblage, or you want something nice that doesn't need cleaned up or whatever, I have it. And I'll tell you, I like my collection too because I know what works. I don't have to search around for something that'll work. I know. I can eyeball it. When I see something that I think, oh yeah, sometimes I'll just set it right back down. That's not gonna work. You know, but the things I have on the site, they do work. Okay, that are the little things. So that's pretty much it for today, guys. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments underneath. I answer everybody. Everybody. So don't be shy. Leave me a comment. Leave me the question or anything you want to say about it. That'll be fine. That will be fine. So I thank you so much for tuning in. And I wanted to tell you too that next Friday we'll have another, I don't know what to call them, a talk, discourse, lecture. I hate that word lecture. I don't like to be lectured. But anyway, we're going to talk about, I'm not sure quite yet, but I will let you know. If you're in the creative group, if you look at my posts here on YouTube, if you look on Instagram, you know, those social media sites, I'll post it ahead of time. I'll post it ahead of time in my newsletter too, what I'm going to do. But it'll be good, and it'll be a little bit maybe hot button where it gets us going, which is what I want to see. I want to see conversation. I want to know what you think, okay? So that's it for today. You guys have a great weekend, and try it. It's very relaxing. It really is. Okay now, bye-bye.